Hey, anime enthusiasts! Today on Anime Stark, we're diving into the wild world of My Hero Academia with a twist. What if Deku, our favorite green-haired hero, was a mafia boss turned teacher? Yeah, you heard it right. Get ready for an epic ride as we explore this unique what-if scenario. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's jump into the exciting story of Deku, from mafia boss to sensei. POV narrator. We're in Roanapur, a city inhabited by the Yakuza, the Triad, the Russian Mafia, the Italian Mafia, and a variety of thieves, thugs, mercenaries, hitmen, small-time villains, and prostitutes. The city is divided into three territories belonging to the Russian Mafia, the Triad, and the Italian Mafia. The Yakuza doesn't have territory here as they're a small organization. Each territory has its own rules set by the leader of each organization. We'll focus on the Russian Mafia's territory, specifically in the room of Balalaika, the leader. She wasn't alone. Leaders from other organizations were present. The reason for their presence? Simple, they wanted to meet their friend's new child. However, there was a problem, the child was missing. Balalaika, what the hell, she shouted. How the hell did this happen, another woman clearly shouted. They must have kidnapped him during our meeting. We need to wake the girls to find out what happened and if they saw who did it, a man's voice. Balalaika, of course, we must wake them up. Otherwise, I won't know which son of a bitch I'm going to kill. I feel sorry for the poor soul, the woman's voice thought. Balalaika, angrily, once I find out who took my little one, I'll make them wish they were never born. But to understand how we got to this point, we need to go back a couple of hours. Flashback 3 hours earlier. We're on the Maria Zeliska boat, just 30 minutes away from its destination after a tedious 9-hour journey. Let's focus on Balalaika's cabin, where she peacefully slept next to her newly adopted son, Izuku. Interestingly, the child didn't cry all night. Now, the little one had just woken up and was observing everything around him, analyzing every detail of the luxurious cabin. The sound of the sea made him turn towards the window, seeing the sun for the first time. His attention then shifted to the ceiling, but soon something, or rather someone, caught his eye. It was Balalaika, who brought him close while still asleep. The child felt immense warmth and security beside her. He reached out to touch her face, giving a small smile and a little laugh. He tapped Balalaika's cheeks, waking her up. Balalaika, groggily, good morning, little one, you do wake up early. She looked at the clock, realizing it was 1 p.m., or maybe not. Izuku, agaga, while bringing his hands to his mouth. Balalaika, grabbed a radio. Dutch, are you awake? Dutch, been up for an hour. Need something? Balalaika, 2 things. First, how long until we reach Roanapur? Dutch, 30 minutes. I suggest you start getting up. What's the second thing you need? Balalaika, the second thing, I need someone to bring another bottle for Izuku. He finished the one he had last night. Preferably, have Rock prepare it. Dutch, understood. It'll be brought to you ASAP. Balalaika, thanks, ended the communication. All right, little one, time to get up. Give me a moment. She got out of bed to change her pajamas. After changing Izuku, she left it to his imagination. There, that's better, there was a knock on the door, come in. Revi, brought the bottle for my little brother, with a very cheerful tone. Balalaika, you better have had Rock prepare it, with a serious look. Revi, certainly, without hesitation, now shoo, waving her hand, go eat something, I'll take care of little Izuku. Balalaika, sighed, all right, I'll try not to take long. Take good care of him, walked towards the door. Revi, I got this, replied after Balalaika left. Well, it's time for the great Revi to spoil you a bit. She carried Izuku in her arms while holding his bottle with the other hand. Yosh, you're such a cutie, said with a big smile. Izuku, observed Revi, while eating, using one of his hands to touch and pinch Revi's face. Revi, you like the face of the great Revi, ha, little one, still smiling. Little time skip 1 hour later, 2 hours before the kidnapping. I forgot to mention that Dutch is the leader of Lagoon Company, a group that accepts almost any job. Balalaika hired them as escorts in case things got complicated. Lagoon Company has the trust of the 3 leaders of Roanapur, as they have carried out various tasks for them. Once they arrived in the city, Balalaika instructed her men to unload the cargo and take it to the warehouse in her territory. Her men agreed. After giving orders to her men, she advanced with Lagoon Company to Hotel Moscow, their main building. During the journey, Revi didn't let go of little Izuku. When they reached their destination, they entered and followed Balalaika to her office to receive payment. Balalaika, here's $20,000, as we agreed, placed 4 stacks of bills on her desk. Dutch, thanks for hiring us. If you need us for another job, don't hesitate to call, while taking the stacks. Knock knock knock, someone knocked on the door. Balalaika, come in, said as Revi handed over little Izuku. Welcome back, Miss Balalaika, said a girl with blonde hair tied in a ponytail, grayish blue eyes, fair skin, and a slightly tall stature, 1.76 meters. She wore a light blue hoodie, a gun strapped to her chest, dark blue camouflage pants, and combat boots. Since I'm not good at descriptions, here's an image. Balalaika, thanks for the welcome. Anything happened in my absence, Vita? Balalaika, thanks for the welcome. Anything happened in my absence, Vita? Vita, nothing happened, just came to welcome you and deliver a message from the Italian Mafia. Balalaika, what did they say? Vita, spoke to invite you and the triad leader to discuss what to do about the Yakuza and some mercenaries not following territory rules. Balalaika, was that all she said? Vita, yes, she said she'd provide details in the meeting. Balalaika, alright, what time is the meeting? Vita, it'll be in 1 hour at the main building of the Italian Mafia. Balalaika, Vita, please call back and ask if Roberta can be sent here. If she asks why, just say I have an assignment for her. Vita, understood, left the office. Balalaika, Revi, can I ask you to look after Izuku during the meeting? Revi, of course, but if I'm taking care of him, why did you call Roberta? Balalaika, it's just a precaution. Besides, Roberta is a better cook than you, so she shouldn't have a problem preparing a bottle for Izuku when he gets hungry. Dutch, alright, we're leaving. By the way, do a good job taking care of the little one, Revi. Revi, yes, boss. While all this was happening, Izuku just observed from his mother's arms, but being still very small, sleep started to overcome him. He nestled on his mother's chest to rest, and Balalaika, noticing her little one's action, simply smiled. The others began to go their separate ways, with Dutch and the company, except Revi, heading back to the hotel where they lived. Vita started making the necessary preparations for Balalaika to attend the meeting calmly while also ensuring all the cargo reached the warehouse next to the hotel. Balalaika, I suppose I have some time to lull you to sleep before I leave. She left her office to go to her room and comfort Izuku. 30 minutes later, all preparations were done. The car was ready, Balalaika had already put little Izuku to sleep, and she had explained to Roberta why she had called her. Roberta's task was to look after Izuku along with Revi, and she accepted without any problem. Roberta and Revi went to the room where Izuku was sleeping. To avoid getting bored, they decided to play cards while taking care of the little one. Note, Roberta and Revi get along well as they watch each other's backs in difficult situations. As I don't know how to describe Roberta, here's an image of her appearance. Another 30 minutes later, 1 hour before the kidnapping. Balalaika, along with Vita and a couple more of her men who were going to help secure the place during the meeting, had arrived at a luxurious hotel. This hotel was the central building of the Italian Mafia and the location for the meeting. Judging by the cars and men outside the hotel, it seemed she was the last to arrive. After instructing her men to help secure the place, she entered the hotel with Vita. A receptionist was waiting to guide her to the meeting room. The receptionist informed her that she was the last to arrive, the triad leader had arrived a few minutes ago, and the Italian Mafia leader was still giving the final security orders. Once they reached the room, the receptionist opened the door for her to enter, finding the triad leader standing with a girl who clearly was his personal bodyguard. Long time, Balalaika. How have you been? The triad leader asked. Balalaika, quite well, thanks for asking, babe. By the way, I hope you don't mind that I got rid of the other triad causing you problems, she said while taking a seat on a sofa in front of him, followed by Vita, who remained standing beside Balalaika. Babe, impressed, looks like I owe you one, took a cigarette and lit it, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask. Balalaika, thanks, babe, I'll keep that in mind, took out one of her cigars, and Vita lit it for her. By the way, when this meeting is over, do you have anything to do? Babe, raised an eyebrow, I have nothing planned. Why do you ask? Balalaika, I want to introduce you to my son. Foo, she said while exhaling cigar smoke. Babe, surprised, just like his bodyguard, your son? Did you threaten someone to give you the kid? Balalaika, answering your first question, yes, he's my son. And the second, no, I didn't threaten anyone. I found him while I was in Japan and decided to adopt him, so now he's my son, she replied calmly. Vita remained quiet, knowing her leader wasn't lying as she had seen the little one, and being smart helped her realize at the moment she entered Balalaika's office and saw the child. I'd also like to meet the little one if you don't mind, Balalaika, a woman spoke from the door. Balalaika, no problem, Kylie. But why not come in and tell us why you called us, she said with a smile, looking at the woman standing at the door. Kylie, don't worry, the meeting will end before you know it, so I can meet the little one. Besides, you shouldn't worry. That's why I sent Roberta. Right? She said with a small smile. Quick profiles of the leaders and bodyguards. Name, Sofia Pavlovina. Note, Russian last names change depending on gender, which is why she is Pavlovina, and Izuku is Pavlovin. This slight change only applies to some last names, not all. Alias, Balalaika. Birthplace, Russia. Date of birth, unknown. Kosei, strategist, allows her to create strategies, whether simple or complicated, depending on the situation. If you cross her or try to outsmart her, you'll pay a hefty price. It's a straightforward kosei but formidable if used wisely. Balalaika knows how to use it, although she doesn't use it too often, as she believes it takes the fun out of her work. History, she was a former Soviet military member. After the dissolution of the USSR, she established her own mafia. Many soldiers who were once under her command in the military joined her mafia. She's a veteran of the Afghanistan war, surviving it, but she and her men consider themselves unfortunate for not achieving an honorable death. Her exploits earned her diplomatic immunity. She's a firearms expert, favoring sniper rifles and pistols. Name, Victoria Novikov. Alias, Vita. Birthplace, Russia. Date of birth, unknown. Kosei, agility boost, as the name suggests, she possesses incredible agility, enabling her to achieve feats that many can only dream of. Like Balalaika, her kosei is simple, but when combined with her various combat forms, she becomes a formidable opponent that no one has been able to defeat to date. History, she's also a former military member under Balalaika's command. She followed Balalaika after the dissolution of the USSR, joining the army out of admiration for her. Not only is she one of the most loyal members, but she's also currently Balalaika's right-hand woman, willing to do anything for her. She's an expert in various combat styles, both hand-to-hand and firearms, from small to large weapons. Name, Beiji Shin Chang. Alias, Mr. Chang, only Balalaika and Kylie call him Babe. Birthplace, China. Date of birth, October 2nd. Kosei, no kosei. History, he is the leader of the Hong Kong Triad. Although he doesn't possess a kosei, he's highly skilled with pistols. Once an executive at a renowned company, he was unjustly fired, leading him to make a name for himself in the underworld. Through his efforts, he established his own mafia and earned respect. Lastly, he despises hypocrites. Name, Shenshua. Alias, Chinglish, only Revi calls her that. Birthplace, Taiwan. Date of birth, January 15th. Kosei, creation of melee weapons, she can create any melee weapon using the components of her body. The more weapons she creates, the more food and rest she needs. History, she is a Taiwanese assassin under Mr. Chang's command. He saved her when she messed up one of her jobs, leaving her nearly dead. After receiving treatment from Mr. Chang, she started working for him to the extent that she ended up joining his mafia and is now his right hand. She gets along well with Revi and cares more about her appearance and proficiency with melee weapons than learning English. Appearance. Name, Kylie Leone. Alias, no alias. Birthplace, Italy. Date of birth, unknown. Kosei, electricity, her body can generate an electric shock that she can manipulate at will. She usually uses it in her fists. The disadvantage is that her body can only withstand a certain voltage. If it exceeds the limit, she experiences a brief paralysis and mild pain for 10 minutes. History, her family has always been in the mafia business. After her father's death, she took charge. Being a woman, she was underestimated, but she quickly earned the respect of mafia members by proving she was more than just a pretty face. Like Shenshua, she cares a lot about her appearance. She is also an expert in hand-to-hand combat, but her greatest passion is shopping, and her love for Asian dresses is unparalleled. History, her family has always been in the mafia business. After her father's death, she took charge. Being a woman, she was underestimated, but she quickly earned the respect of Mafia members by proving she was more than just a dash. Name, Rosa Rita Cisneros. Alias, Roberta. Birthplace, Italy, Florence. Date of birth, unknown. Kosei, highly developed instincts, allows her to sharpen her senses to very high levels, including hearing, smell, and danger sense. Thanks to this and her training, no rival or prey can escape her, as she can track them without any problem. This also made her become very protective of those she considers close. History: she is a former member of FARC, which she abandoned when she realized they were not revolutionaries but traffickers. She was in charge of the dirty work. After leaving FARC, she was labeled as one of the most internationally wanted criminals. She was taken in by Kylie, who offered her a job. Roberta asked for a normal job, so now she is Kylie's maid and right hand. She only takes on Mafia jobs when there's no other option or it's a critical situation. She is normally calm and a bit clumsy, but that's just a disguise. Her true personality is completely different, which she shows when working as a mobster. She only takes on Mafia jobs when there's no other option or it's a critical situation. She is normally calm and a bit clumsy, but that's just a disguise. Her true personality is completely different, which she shows when working as a mobster. The meeting continued for 45 minutes to decide how to deal with the problems of the Yakuza and those breaking the rules. The meeting went smoothly, and in the end, it was decided to eliminate the Yakuza once and for all. The Yakuza leader turned out to be hiring people from other places to try to take control of Roanapur. The mercenaries and petty villains breaking the territory rules turned out to be the hired hands of the Yakuza. If that was the case, they would be getting rid of two birds with one stone. Once the fate of the unfortunate was decided, they decided to start the cleanup as soon as possible, specifically after meeting the little one. With that said, they concluded to head to Hotel Moscow, each in their own car. After 30 minutes of travel, they arrived and entered the hotel. Everything seemed normal, so they headed to Balalaika's room, followed by everyone who wanted to meet Izuku. To say that Kylie and Babe were excited was an understatement once they were in front of the room. Balalaika: well, are you ready? With her hand on the doorknob. Kylie: Babe: yes, with big smiles. Vita, Shenshua, with indifferent faces, but Vita was more excited. Balalaika: good, turned the knob to enter with a big smile. I'm back. Her smile faded. The reason was that her room was a mess. There were bullet holes in the walls, Revi was injured and lying face down near the bed, Roberta was also injured but to a lesser extent, unconscious near the window, and the little one was nowhere to be found. Kylie and Babe entered and saw the same, changing their smiles to serious expressions, but they weren't the only ones. Vita and Shenshua did the same. End of flashback. Current time. Once they managed to wake up the girls, they proceeded to ask them what had happened. Revi had been taken to another room for treatment by Shasha, a member of the Russian Mafia. Therefore, Roberta was the one to answer questions about how this could happen. Balalaika: well, Roberta, tell us how they managed to defeat you and take my little Izuku, and I also want to know who did it, with a serious face. Flashback. Roberta: ready? Asking with cards in hand. Revi: yes, putting down her cards, full house, and you? Roberta, putting down her cards, royal flush, I win again, with a mocking smile. Revi, darn, yelled but was silenced by a hit from Roberta, what's your problem, rubbing her head. Roberta: quiet or you'll wake the child, checking to ensure the noise didn't wake him up from Revi's shout. While watching the little one, two people suddenly appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the room, surprising them. What surprised them even more was what these two people said. Extra 1, see, I told you we can enter without anyone noticing. We take the child to that Yakuza, easy money. Extra 2, looking around and seeing the two girls, quick, grab the kid and let's go, shooting at the girls. They reacted in time, initiating a bullet exchange in the room. Roberta, shooting at Extra 2, who seemed very young, Revi, go for Izu. Revi obeyed and ran to the bed for the little one, but Extra 1 beat her and managed to injure her. Revi fell near the bed. Roberta, Revi, managed to hit Extra 2 several times. The extras ran to the window followed by Roberta, but Extra 1 appeared behind her, managing to knock her out. The little one had been crying since the start of the bullet exchange. Needless to say, Extra 2 died. End flashback. After Roberta finished telling what had happened, a dense killing intent emanated, coming from none other than Balalaika and Vita, but it was only for a moment as Balalaika and Vita calmed down. Now, it was more important to locate the Yakuza to bring Izuku back. So, preparations began to initiate the hunt because now it was personal. Balalaika, serious, Kylie, you know where the Yakuza is, right? Kylie, equally serious, yes. Balalaika, Vita, call Tenryu, it's time to work. You and she will go. Your priority is to bring Izuku back. Tell the others to grab their weapons, we're going to settle some scores with the Yakuza. However, it wasn't the only one giving orders. Kylie and Babe did the same, asking their men to support the Russian Mafia in any way possible. Balalaika was grateful that her friends were backing her up. Just 5 minutes later, Tenryu arrived, another loyal member like Vita. Tenryu's appearance marked the beginning of Izuku's rescue. At the port, Yakuza and hired members were loading the ship hastily, fearing for their lives. Leader, load everything quickly, or you won't get paid, desperate shouts. Extra, boss, was it really a good idea to accept the job from that stranger? Asked nervously. Leader, no, but he promised to help us restore the Yakuza to its glory, and we just have to hand over a brat. Of course, I didn't imagine the brat was the new son of that crazy Russian, nervous and impatient. Hurry, move your damn asses, hysterical shout. After 20 minutes, they finished loading the boat and were about to depart. Extra, ready, boss, everything's on board. Leader, relieved, good, everyone board, we're leaving. Tenryu, leaving so soon? The fun is just beginning. Tilda. The leader was stunned because in front of him stood the most loyal and reliable assassin of the Russian Mafia, and her face promised pain. Tenryu, it's a pity, but I won't be the one to have fun with you. In a burst of speed, she appeared behind the leader, placing her sword at his neck. Now, where's the little one? Tenryu, it's a pity, but I won't be the one to have fun with you. In a burst of speed, she appeared behind the leader, placing her sword at his neck. Now, where's the little one? Leader, scared, inside, he's inside. Upon hearing that, Tenryu set off. If you're wondering why Vita isn't with her, it's because she left her behind. The leader was scared but also furious, as one person had ruined his plans, and his men did nothing. Angrily, he began to speak. Leader, what are you waiting for? Go after her, furious shout, but his men didn't move. Didn't you hear? Go AF, he couldn't finish speaking because someone interrupted him. Balalaika, unfortunately, you and those idiots won't go anywhere. As the leader turned, he saw Balalaika, and he could only stay stunned. Balalaika wasn't alone, Kylie and Senior Chang were with her, and they were more than surrounded. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't move because Balalaika's gaze terrified him. Exactly that gaze she had. Balalaika's, Kylie's, and Senior Chang's men wasted no time and started shooting against the Yakuza and their thugs. Needless to say, they couldn't compare to those three. Once they were eliminated, Balalaika ordered to cease fire, leaving only the Yakuza leader alive. Balalaika, take him to my office and extract all the information you can. With Tenryu, she had finally found the little one who wouldn't stop crying. Tenryu, so you're the boss's kid, looking at the child, you're quite cute, little one, but stop crying, okay? I've come to take you to your mom. She carefully took Izuku, and he clung to her. She hugged him to try to calm him down. A few minutes later, Tenryu emerged with Izuku in her arms. Balalaika, seeing her son was fine, didn't hesitate to run towards Tenryu, surprising her since she hadn't seen this side of her boss. Tenryu, here you go, handing little Izuku to Balalaika. Balalaika, tearing up a bit while hugging Izuku. Unexpectedly, when Izuku was in his mother's arms, he stopped crying. Thank you, Tenryu. Tenryu just smiled. Once things calmed down a bit, Kylie and Babe approached to finally meet little Izuku. Now, they were heading back to the Moscow hotel, all in the same car. Vita scolded Tenryu for leaving her behind. Once inside the hotel, they went to another room for the little one to rest, with everyone except Balalaika taking care of Izuku while she attended to some matters in her office. In Balalaika's office, the Yakuza leader was badly beaten, surrounded by his men waiting for their boss. Ex-Yakuza leader, I've told you everything, please let me go. I promise to leave and not cause any more trouble, desperate please. Soldier, delivered a strong kick to his stomach, shut up. You won't go anywhere. If our leader didn't want you alive, you'd be dead by now. Ex-Yakuza leader, come on, it was just business, nothing personal, still pleading. Balalaika, entering, it was very personal for me, walked past to be near her desk. So, what did he say? Soldier 2, he said some guy contacted him to kidnap his son. He also said he doesn't know the guy's name or appearance, it seems they only communicated through the phone. Ring ring ring, the ex-Yakuza leader's phone started ringing. Balalaika picked up the phone. Who is this? Showing the screen with the number to the ex-leader. Ex-Yakuza leader saw the number. It's him. Received another kick to shut him up. Balalaika stood up and answered, signaling them to make him be quiet. Balalaika answered but remained silent to hear what the person on the phone was going to say. The scene was something like this. Balalaika answered but stayed silent to listen to the person on the phone. Unknown caller, hey, is the job done? Balalaika was in shock. She recognized the language. It was Japanese. I'm sorry, but your dog won't be able to fulfill his part of the deal. Unknown caller, who the hell are you? Annoyed. Balalaika, the mother of the little one, in a cold tone, and who the hell are you, huh? Unknown caller, that doesn't matter, but I'll tell you one thing, give me the brat and avoid problems, serious. Balalaika, ha ha ha, laughed quite loudly, that's my line. If you try to come for my little one again, be sure I'll find you and make you wish you were never born, a much colder and serious tone. Unknown caller, ha ha ha, don't talk nonsense, woman, but fine, I'll leave you alone for now. However, rest assured that sooner or later, I'll have that brat. Balalaika, oh, you must be quite brave to talk to me like that, serious, but I'll tell you again, if you come after my little one, I'll kill you myself. Unknown caller, it's the first time someone talks to me like this, but can I know who I'm talking to? Balalaika, why the hell do you want to know? Unknown caller, to remember the name of the brave woman who dared to defy me. Balalaika, alright, my name is, your damn mother. Unknown caller, wow, you're rude. But fine, if you don't want to tell me your name, I'll tell you mine, so remember it well. My name is All for One, and I'll say it again, that kid will be mine sooner or later, ending the call. Balalaika, what an idiot, shot the phone with a pistol from one of her men, disconnect from him, he's no longer useful to me. Soldiers, yes, mom, striking a military pose. Balalaika returned to the room where everyone was. Upon entering, she saw everyone around Izuku, who had stopped crying and had started pinching Tenryu's face since she was the closest. Moreover, Revi seemed better, as did Roberta. As they noticed her presence, they greeted her, and she simply returned the greeting. They talked for a while until they saw that the little one seemed sleepy. Everyone began to say goodbye to let little Izuku and his mother rest alone in the room. Balalaika, quite a welcome, don't you think, my little one? Giving a bottle of milk to Izuku. Izuku, holding the bottle with both hands and not taking his eyes off his mother despite being drowsy. Balalaika, changing into pajamas, what's happening, little one? Don't you recognize mom in her pajamas? With a smile. Izuku just tilted his head, as he was already changed, reaching out as if he wanted his mother to lie down. Balalaika, yes, I'm coming, don't get impatient, lying down next to Izuku, you know, today I messed up by leaving you alone, but that won't happen again. Mom will always protect you, and if necessary, I'll take you with me at all times, she said while holding Izuku's little hand, but that doesn't mean I'll spoil you always. It's not that we lack money, I just don't want you to become a spoiled child. You must become strong for when I'm no longer with you so you can take care of yourself. Izuku had fallen asleep holding his mother's hand. Balalaika, wow, you were really tired, remember the name of that guy thinking, All for One, why the hell does he want Izuku? Sighed, I'll think about it calmly tomorrow, still thinking, but if he wants Izuku, the best thing will be to teach him to defend himself as soon as he's old enough, started to close her eyes. So ended another day in this crazy city, but one thing was certain, anyone who tried to come for Izuku would have a tough time. They would not only have to deal with Balalaika but practically with the entire city. Character speaking, hello, how are you? Character thinking, those scoundrels. Character speaking another language, well, it's better than nothing. Character action, takes his weapon and points it at the face. Sorry if I didn't put it in the previous chapter. This may be used for more than just character actions. Quick clarification, the conversations characters have will usually be in English or Italian, but the conversations between Balalaika and Izuku and his men will be in Russian, that's all. Narrator POV. We find ourselves in the city of Roanapur, where a green-haired and a blonde were shooting and hitting a small organization of mercenaries left and right. The reason? They were trying to rescue their younger brother. Why the quotes? Because he wasn't really their brother, but both considered him as one. Izuku, shooting, Amelia, do you still have bullets? Using his last magazine. Amelia, shooting, I'm not using the last one, but I don't think it'll be necessary, shooting. Izuku, why do you say that? Hiding behind a wall. Amelia, before I answer, tell me our fratello minore's cos'e, Italian for younger brother, is hardening, right? Hiding too. Izuku, yes, what about it? Amelia, starstruck, to use this, takes out a fragmentation grenade. Izuku, I didn't see when you took that, but it'll merge, just wait a moment, inhaling a lot of air, Tanaki 5, use your Kosi 5. Tanuki, don't tell me what to do, and my name isn't Tanakive. Izuku, just do it, turns to Amelia and sees she's already removing the pin, hurry up and use your Kosei, Tanak 5. Tanuki, I told you not to interrupt me, doesn't finish speaking because he sees the grenade and activates his Kosei. Mercenaries, what the hell, these guys are crazy, they're going to kill their friend. Boom. After the grenade exploded, killing the remaining mercenaries, Izuku and Amelia entered as if nothing had happened to look for Tanuki. Izuku, don't you think we went a bit too far? Looking at the scene. Amelia, I don't think so, besides, they brought it on themselves, moving the remnants of a table. Oh, if you survived, stupid fratello minore, said with a smile. Tanuki, were they trying to kill me, angry and grinding his teeth. Izuku, you're still alive, so don't complain, arms crossed, besides, it's your fault they kidnapped you, Tanuki. Tanuki, tied to a chair, what do you mean it's my fault? They insulted me first, trying to justify himself. Amelia, untying him, yeah, whatever you say, but we need to leave as soon as possible before Roberta or Kylie notice we're not at your house. Izuku and Tanuki, tensed upon hearing what Amelia said because the last time they skipped work, both received punishment. Izuku got double the training, and Tanuki got a sermon that lasted all night. You're right, we need to get out of here. The three started running at full speed towards Tanuki's house. They were supposed to be watching over Tanuki to make sure he did his homework and stayed out of trouble. Otherwise, they would receive double training from their instructors. Izuku, running, Tanuki, please tell me you at least finished your tasks before getting into trouble, worried about the answer. Tanuki, don't call me Tanuki, and yes, I finished, trying to keep up with the two. Amelia, running, good, we're almost there. After running to Tanuki's house, the three rushed into the main hall. Tanuki sat down and opened a notebook to pretend he was about to finish. Amelia went to the kitchen for some drinks for them to recover a bit, and Izuku just stood by Tanuki, pretending to make sure he did his homework. 5 minutes later, Roberta and Kylie arrived, heading to the hall to check that Tanuki had done his homework and to see if Izuku and Amelia were working. Kylie and Roberta, we're back. Kylie was the only one who raised her hand to greet while Roberta made a slight bow. Kylie, how was it? My little one didn't cause any trouble, did he? With a smile. Izuku, of course, he didn't cause any trouble, and, making a slight bow. Roberta, looking around, and Amelia? Amelia, coming out of the kitchen with drinks for everyone, I'm here, giving each one a drink. Kylie, taking the drink she was given, thanks, Emmy, taking a sip. Roberta, went to the kitchen to prepare the meal. Izuku, well, then, I'll take my leave, and if you need anything else, don't hesitate to call me, whispering to Tanuki, tomorrow you'll tell me how you got involved with those guys, Tanuki. Tanuki, nodding at the last part, see you tomorrow, older brother. Amelia, take care, Izuku, giving him a goodbye kiss on the cheek. Kylie, I'll accompany you to the door. Once outside the house. Kylie, it seems he got attached to you very quickly, Izuku, still smiling, and not just Garcia, Amelia has taken a liking to you as well. Izuku, well, I've also grown fond of them, I practically consider them my younger siblings, calmly. Kylie, smiling, you're right. Thanks for taking care of Garcia in my absence, Izuku, giving Izuku a somewhat prolonged hug, well, can I count on you tomorrow? Izuku, of course, aunt, but I must leave before my mother starts worrying. Kylie, you're right, giving him a kiss on the forehead, goodbye, Izuku. Izuku, saying goodbye and starting to walk towards Hotel Moscow. Kylie thinking, he grew up so fast. I still remember when he was a baby, and now he's a full-grown man. I just hope he changes his cold attitude a bit, or he'll end up becoming like his mother and sisters, going back into her house. An hour and a half after Izuku left, he finally arrived home, where he was welcomed by his mother. Balalaika, checking her watch, it was 6 p.m, welcome back. How was your day? With a smile. Izuku, I'm back, and it went well, calm. Balalaika, someone took care of a small organization at 4 p.m. today. Do you know anything about it? Serious. Izuku swallowed nervously. No, I don't know anything. Nervous. Balalaika, alright, I believe you. But if I find out it was you, I'll tell Vita, Tenryu, and Boris to triple your training, understood? Izuku, yes, thinking, I'm screwed now. Balalaika, good, walking, by the way, in 1 month, the preparations will be ready for you to go to Japan, so get your things ready. Izuku, okay. By the way, who will accompany me? Walking beside his mother. Balalaika, raising an eyebrow, what do you mean? You're already 23, old enough to go on your own, took a cigar from her coat and lit it, besides, you're good enough in the business, you can handle it on your own. Izuku, I know I'm good, but I still need someone to help me with some things. I can't be in more than one place at a time. Balalaika, I'm just teasing you. The people accompanying you are already decided, so don't worry, nonchalant. Izuku felt relieved, can I at least know who they are, or at the very least, how many will be with me? Intrigued. Balalaika, I can only tell you that there will be 5 people, and 3 of them are trusted local contacts, and the other 2 you already know. But you'll find out when you get to Japan, so don't worry, exhaling cigar smoke. Izuku, okay, still walking, by the way, where are we heading? Balalaika, to my office, calm. Izuku, why? Balalaika, I told you I'd give you a gift before you leave, and since it just arrived, I want to take the opportunity to give it to you, opening the door to her office. Also, we need to talk about what you'll be doing in Japan. Izuku, a bit excited, okay. Balalaika began explaining what Izuku would be doing in Japan. Basically, he would be in charge of securing drug distribution routes in the city, dealing with troublesome heroes and gangs, and taking care of the big shots when necessary. They also discussed that he would stay in a prepared house, free to choose his equipment and procedures in case his identity was compromised. Although he wasn't worried because being Balalaika's son granted him the same diplomatic immunity, the last thing he would do was to find an informant to infiltrate UA, gather necessary information to eliminate All Might, Endeavor, and any information about All for One in case they become a more significant problem. While All Might had been a problem, he had stayed out of Roanapur and hadn't attacked any Mafia members. Still, it never hurts to be cautious. The second problem was Endeavor, who, unlike All Might, had the great idea of coming to his city to arrest Mafia leaders to be named the new #1 hero. He was stopped by Izuku and even left with a large scar on his face as a reminder. Finally, the biggest problem was All for One, who, like Endeavor, had the same idea but with the purpose of taking Izuku. The reason remains unknown, but it was evident that he was serious about taking control of Izuku. However, Izuku managed to stop him, leaving All for One with a disfigured face and possibly some internal organs destroyed, though Izuku didn't escape unharmed, losing his left forearm and eye. Thanks to Sasha, Balalaika's best doctor, he managed to get a good prosthetic, though he couldn't regain his eye. After explaining the job Izuku would be doing, they concluded that matter, and now it was time for what Izuku had been waiting for, his gift. Balalaika, well, that would be all. Do you have any questions? Serious. Izuku, none, and I've even planned what to do in case I get caught or if the informant tries to betray me, confident. Balalaika, that's my son. Now, what you've been waiting for, lifted 2 suitcases, here they are. Izuku opened one suitcase and saw inside, then pulled out its content, which was none other than a Barrett M82A1 sniper rifle. Izuku, trying not to scream like a little girl for his gift, thanks, mother, said with a smile that only he knows how to give. Balalaika, quite happy, you're welcome, but you still need one more. Izuku headed to the other suitcase, which obviously was a bit larger, so he opened it, but what he saw left him speechless. Are you sure you want to give me this? Balalaika, smiling, of course, but don't just leave it there, take it out because it's not the only thing it has. Besides, you earned it. Izuku could only smile with some tears, as the second suitcase held one of his mother's most valuable possessions, her sniper rifle SVD Dragunov, with which she earned her nickname Balalaika. However, there was another, even more precious possession, belonging to his Aunt Kylie Leone, her Magnum .357 revolver, which he used before learning hand-to-hand combat. Balalaika, embracing Izuku, to which Izuku reciprocated the hug, you know, it might seem calm, but I'm very worried. After all, I don't want anything to happen to you, hugging him tighter. Izuku, hugging her, I know it won't help much for me to say this, but don't worry, I'll be fine. Besides, It's not like I'm leaving forever, not to mention there's still 1 month left before I leave. Balalaika, I know you'll be fine, but you know it's impossible for me not to worry. After all, I'm your mother. Izuku, I know that, and I still can't repay you even a little for everything you've done for me. That's why I'll give my best effort to solve those problems and come back as soon as possible. After all, if I take too long, Revi, Vita, Tenryu, and Roberta are capable of coming to find me and bring me back by force, separating from his mother. Balalaika, wiping away her tears, yes, you're right, now calmer, by the way, don't forget to say goodbye to them and the others. Izuku, yes, I just hope they don't say they're coming with me. Quick profiles of Izuku, Amelia, and Tanuki. Name, Garcia Fernando Lovelace. Alias, Tanuki, though only Izuku and Amelia call him that. Age, 18 years. Quirks, toughening and superior IQ, allows him to toughen his skin, more like armor, providing good defense, not as good as Izuku's, but decent. The IQ quirk enables him to use 50% of his brain, granting superior intelligence, though he doesn't always utilize it, often getting into trouble. Story, the son of Kylie Leone and Diego Lovelace, though born into the Italian Mafia's leader, he lacks the qualities to succeed his mother. Soft and sometimes cowardly, he understands this and is educated at home to be like his father, a successful businessman. He admires Izuku, considering him his older brother, as Izuku has taken care of him practically since birth. Despite his inclination for getting into trouble, Izuku always comes to his rescue. Name, Amelia Vitali. Alias, no alias. Age, 19 years. Quirk, speed, allows her incredible speed, but prolonged use tires her quickly. She can use it at maximum capacity for only 2 hours, after that, her speed and endurance decline. Story, the youngest member of the Italian Mafia, Amelia was adopted by Kylie during a business trip to Italy. Initially a small-time gang member, she was caught trying to steal from Kylie and stopped by Roberta. Seeing potential in her, Kylie made her an offer, work for her, get paid, and receive training to leave her petty criminal life behind. Amelia accepted, becoming one of the most loyal and effective members. Trained by Roberta and Izuku, she admires both and considers them her older siblings. Like Izuku, she sees Garcia as a younger brother and strives to keep him on the right path. Name, Izuku Pavlovin. Alias, VK, Spectre, Angel of Death, the Sword King, the Torturer, and the Accountant. Age, 23 years. Quirk, Heavy Warrior, as the name suggests, he is a heavy warrior. His quirk gives him strength surpassing even that of All Might. Additionally, similar to Garcia, his quirk provides him with armor thick enough to withstand a 154mm tank projectile without altering his appearance. Although he can endure tank bullets, it doesn't mean he doesn't feel pain. While possessing great strength and defense, his speed is affected. He only has half the speed of All Might, and despite training, his speed doesn't increase. However, he manages to enhance his endurance and reaction times. History, abandoned by his biological mother in an alley, Izuku was fortunate that Balalaika found and raised him as her biological son. Adopted at the age of 4, he began training at 13. A prodigy in studies, surpassing Garcia, and believed to be on par with Nezu in intelligence, the Russian Mafia's fortune allowed him access to any book he desired, broadening his knowledge beyond mere physical strength. He excelled not only in academics but also mastered various fighting styles, thanks to Vita, including Russian Samba, Tai Chuan Do, Tai Chi, Westerly, Muay Thai, Karate, and both defensive and offensive styles of Xiao Li. Additionally, Tenryu trained him in swordsmanship from the age of 13. At 14, he became an active member of the Russian Mafia, initially handling simple tasks like collecting protection fees. As he took on more complicated assignments such as assassinations or dismantling non-compliant organizations, he earned aliases like the Counter and Angel of Death. His role extended to securing safe routes for drug and arms exports worldwide, earning him the alias Spectre for his undetectable nature. He also handled torturing those who crossed the line or threatened leaders, earning the nickname the Torturer. His upbringing molded him into a person with a cold personality, capable of killing without remorse. However, he showed some warmth to his mother, aunt, and sisters. With the rest, he remained cold. Despite this, he had unmatched patience and a protective instinct toward those he considered family, loving Tanuki and Amelia as his younger siblings. He was willing to take on dirty work for his mother, as evidenced by removing Endeavor and All for One from Roanapur. However, he paid a price, losing his left forearm and eye to All for One, who, in return, suffered disfiguration from Izuku. Currently, he aims to go to Japan to check if he has any blood siblings who, like him, were abandoned and wants to care for them, providing the family they deserve. He also seeks to meet his true parents and understand the real reason for his abandonment. He stands at 1.98 meters, with a robust build weighing 120 kilograms. Scar. Scar. Prosthesis. Prosthesis. Continued below. Izuku, entered with 2 small suitcases, thank you. Amelia, notice the suitcases, you're bringing very little clothing, don't you think? Izuku, that's because it's not clothes. Amelia, so, what are they for? With a finger on her chin. Izuku, you'll find out soon, walking towards the living room. As soon as Izuku entered the living room, he was greeted by Tanuki, who rushed to hug him. Tanuki, hugging Izuku, Fratello, I thought you had already left. Izuku, well, I'm actually leaving in 2 hours, so let's get straight to the point. I've come to talk to you before I leave, so I need your full attention, okay? Letting go of the hug and putting on a serious expression he had never shown his siblings, and you too, Amelia, turning to her. The two mentioned were surprised because they had never seen him so serious. Both nodded and sat together on a sofa in front of Izuku. Amelia/Tanuki, we have your full attention, Fratello Maggiore, they said simultaneously. Izuku, good, but before we start, I want to make a request to both of you, more like a promise. Garcia, Amelia, looking at them. Tanuki, surprised, as Izuku never called him that and, on top of that, never asked them for anything. Yes, ask us anything, determined. Amelia, me too, ask me anything, Fratello, equally determined. Izuku, good, that's what I wanted to hear, sighed, now, to the reason I'm here. Garcia, I want you to promise me that you'll stop proclaiming yourself a delinquent. As you know, I'm leaving in a few hours, and I won't be able to take care of you or rescue you every time you get into trouble. Besides, I don't want to leave all the work to Amelia, serious. Garcia, but Fratello, I want to be one. I know if I try, I can catch up to you. Izuku, stood up from the sofa he was on and raised his voice, this is not a game, Garcia. This life is not for everyone. You must be willing to sacrifice things you value and be ready to kill when necessary. You and I know you're too soft, not to mention that your mother, your father, and I don't want you to get more involved in this business. That's why you're being educated so that you can leave Roanapur as soon as possible. Garcia, with his head down and crying a bit. Izuku, calmer, listen, this is not just for your own good, but also to avoid worrying your mother, your father, or me, approached him and put his hands on his cheeks to lift his face. I know you're strong, but it's not enough. There are too many strong opponents. Just look at me, I'm the strongest here, and yet, look at how I ended up, without a forearm and without an eye. That's why you must learn to use this, holding his head, your brain is your way out of here, so I'll ask you again. Can you stop proclaiming yourself a delinquent and causing trouble? Still holding his head. Garcia, wiped away his tears, okay, I promise to stop being an aspiring delinquent. I promise not to cause trouble and learn to use my head to get out of here and not worry my parents, his determined look returned. Izuku, thank you, Garcia. That calms me and lifts a weight off my shoulders, turning to Amelia, who had kept silent during that conversation. What I want to ask you is simple. I want you to take care of him and leave with him once he has the knowledge to leave Roanapur, looking at her seriously. Amelia, I have no problem, but do you think the boss will accept it? Doubtful. Izuku, don't worry about that, I already got her permission. Also, if you take care of him, I can leave without worrying about you guys, sitting back down, and I know you've been in love with Tanuki for some time now, whispered. Amelia, blushing intensely, since when have you known? She asked in a whisper. Izuku, nothing escapes me, whispering. Izuku, well, with that settled, place the 2 suitcases in front of each one, even though I really didn't want to give these to you, as it would contradict what I just asked of you, I don't want you to be unable to defend yourselves. So, just use them when it's really necessary. Both opened their cases, and they saw a pair of weapons. Now they understood why their brother hesitated to give them after asking them not to get more involved. Tanuki's gift. Amelia's gift. Amelia's gift. Izuku, alright, that's it. It's better to take care of them. Tanuki, ask Boris to teach you how to use them, okay? Tanuki, yes, thanks for the gift. I'll take good care of it and only use it when there's no other option. Amelia, same here. I promise to take care of it and only use it when it's really necessary. Izuku, that's good. Now give me a hug so I can go, extending his arms to the sides. Amelia and Tanuki hugged him and said their goodbyes. Now Izuku could leave without worrying about his younger siblings. After the hug, Izuku headed to his mother's ship, where she and her crew were waiting to bid him farewell. When he arrived at the port, everything was ready for departure, and his mother and her crew were waiting. Balalaika, took you longer than I thought. Izuku, well, I wanted to have a little chat with them before leaving. Soldier, Ms. Balalaika, everything is ready. Balalaika, good job, the soldier left, alright, everything's set. Some of them will accompany you. There are 50 kilograms of cocaine in the trunk of one of your cars, valued at exactly $10,900,000. The money you make is yours. Take this, she handed him a black credit card, all your money is on this card. It can't be traced and temporarily blocks ATM cameras. So, when you use it, make sure it's at an ATM to keep your money and identity safe. Izuku, thanks, Mom, he took the card. By the way, don't you think 50 kilograms is a lot? Not that I can't sell it, but I already have enough money to live a luxurious life without working. Note, he joined the MAFIA at 14 and is now 23, accumulating $675 million in 9 years. The 50 kilograms is valued at $10,900,000 exactly, and about the ship, I understand, it's yours, and it could reveal where I come from. Balalaika, it's not just for extra money. It's to gauge the demand for drugs in Japan. Depending on how long it takes you to sell it, we'll calculate how much to send next time. And finally, take this, handing him a state-of-the-art phone. Like the card, it has a private number and can't be traced. It has my number, 2 trusted contacts, a firearms dealer and a mechanic. If you need anything, call the arms dealer, tell him who you are, and he'll get you the weapon and ammunition you want. The second contact is a mechanic. I know you're very particular when it comes to someone touching your cars, which, by the way, are already at the house I prepared for you, along with the members who will assist you during your journey. Izuku, alright, anything else I need to know? Putting away the phone and card. Balalaika, yes, all your belongings, including weapons, are insured. So, no one will touch them until you arrive. Your sisters wish you a safe journey and said they'll visit you from time to time. That's all, now board before I change my mind about letting you go. Izuku, yes, I'm boarding. I don't want the preparations to be in vain. He hugged his mother for a few minutes, and Balalaika reciprocated the hug. Balalaika, take care and call at least once a week. She let go of the hug, and if you don't, I'll come for you and drag you back by the ears, grabbing him by one ear. Izuku, ouch, okay, I'll call every weekend. His mother let go, thought you were going to rip it off. After that farewell, he said goodbye to the members who had come to see him off. As soon as it was over, he boarded the ship. Once on board, the ship set sail, and Izuku waved goodbye. After a few minutes, Balalaika and her men returned to Hotel Moscow. While on the ship, a soldier showed Izuku to his cabin. Izuku, alright, how long until we reach Japan? He asked the soldier. Soldier, we just set sail, so it'll take about 9 hours. We'll arrive at night, so I advise you to rest to avoid jet lag. Izuku, thanks, you can go now. The soldier left. I just hope the people helping me are competent. A shiver ran down his spine. I just hope they're not who I think. Somewhat worried, I'll worry about that later.